My name is Craig Price. I teach New Testament and Greek here, and so I have fun playing in the chapel band. That's just lanyap. You know what lanyap is? A little extra. I just love doing that. Love hanging out with those music folks. But anyway, so this is the Logos training, and let me say first of all, there's no way that you can cover this software in 60 minutes. It is way too powerful. What you've been given through the generosity of Caskey, you've been handed the keys to a Ferrari. Now you got to figure out and learn how to use it, and it'll make your research faster. Once you get using it, what I had to do, I mean, I'm old school. I was a pastor for 30 years, but I tried to keep up with all of that, and now I've been here 12 years, and Dennis Phelps and Preaching and I, we teach Logos courses. You can actually get credit here if you take that. But I would highly recommend that if you'll make a commitment, pick a week that's going to be kind of, if you're kind of on the bubble and you're not sure whether you want to start using this or not, maybe old school, you like doing it the old way with books and all that. If you want to really learn it, I would say, first of all, take a week and say, okay, I'm going to use digital resources for a week. I'm going to give it a week. And it'll force you to learn to get around. Now, what I'm going to do is give you a couple of handholds to help you start climbing the hill, okay? I'm going to show you some secrets, stuff that you learn going along. But if you want to really get good and proficient, you need to go to Camp Logos 1 and 2. And that's Morris Proctor, and his website is mpseminars.com. And it's a 3-day seminar, and I'm telling you, if you've got maybe some conference money or something, or somebody said, "Hey, Pastor, I want to help you out," I would recommend going. Mo, well, his name's Mo. It's Morris Proctor. Everybody can call him Mo. Mo is phenomenal. Dennis Phelps and I have been using Logos for decades. We teach it. We've been teaching it 3 years, and we went to Camp Logos when version 6 came out. We'd look at each other, I didn't know the software would do that. And every 10 minutes we were learning something new. This is powerful, action-packed. I would highly recommend it.
How much is it?
And it's if you're through the seminary, we're going to teach it at the North Georgia Center next fall, and there's a reduced rate. And you can get credit. Okay, you can get 3 hours credit. So if you're near Atlanta, go up to Johnson Ferry. It's a 3-day deal. You can get 3 hours toward your degree, and you can get this information. Okay, and brother, I forget how much he charges, but you can take Camp 1 or 2. I recommend taking both. Okay, now this is for version 6. Version 7 is out, and let's say, I don't have any money. He's giving the basic away free right now. Go to the website. Go to logos.com. Tell your people you can get Logos for free, the basic program. Now, it's not going to have your Greek and your Hebrew and all the stuff we need in our field for digging in Scripture and doing our sermons, but it gets you started, okay? So it's free. They just came out with it 2 days ago. And so I'm trying to tell everybody I know. I would recommend they're paper manuals. Along the way, you'll need them if you take the camp, but get these things, and I use them. Now, I've given you a reduced version of the manuals. I know I'm going to be going quick because I want to get into this. These I'm going to refer to a couple of these. Just take it and look through it. But I'm going to tell you, if you've got the software, you have this. I just went through and picked out some stuff. And where you get your manual is right up here. There's a little question mark in the right-hand corner. That question mark, you've got the whole Logos manuals right there. Okay? And some guys, I'm still kind of like, I like books still. The youngsters, they're all digital, man. Everything, they live in the Facebook world. And so I'm kind of a dinosaur trying to get modern, but I use Logos every day. And every time I go and use it, I learn something new. I learn a shortcut or something. It's an ongoing learning curve. So if you feel a bit overwhelmed, you should feel that way. This is a powerful software. Now, basically, I think we're on time now, so everybody's here. Let me just introduce you to the basics of the platform, okay? And what you have, this is the home page. You can customize your home page using your setting. If you click that, you can turn stuff on, turn stuff off. I reduced it to make it simple because it's kind of visually overwhelming until you get used to looking at a busy screen, okay? So there's your settings right there. Now Windows, this is a Mac. Windows may be just a little different. I started to bring my Surface Pro. I use it, and I have Windows on it. If you buy Logos, you can do 2 licenses. Do one for your wife, one for you, one on your PC, one on your Mac, or 2 on your Mac, whatever. So you have 2 licenses you can use. Basically, this will always come up. If you ever get lost, go to the home, and this is where you come back. Get your bearings again, okay? This is your library, okay? Let me just run through each piece, and then we're going to look at them individually. This is your search. You see the little magnifying glass. Let's search and find something. I'm going to show you how to do a couple basic searches today, and if we have time left over, I'll do a more advanced search, okay? These are drop-down windows, documents, guides. We're going to focus here a lot today, and tools. And then if you want to just a quick open a Bible, you can put a reference in there, and one Bible pane will come open. If you put your reference here, you get the default window opens. And I'm going to demo that for you just in a minute. We're getting oriented to the dashboard. Okay, we're sitting behind the wheel. Now I'm going to show you how to do layouts. And this is the shortcut bar. You can move anything to that shortcut. You can move a book up there. Normally, I keep my Greek text, my apparatus, and my Metzger textual commentary up on top, and I can open them real quick. One click, and they're there. You can do most anything in Logos 3 or 4 different ways. So you'll discover ways that work better for you. You may say, I don't like the way he did it. I like this way. That's fine. This is your software. I'm just trying to help you get started, okay? This is a powerful tool, and I just want you to sharpen it because it's going to make your research faster. It's going to make your sermons a little deeper, and see, that's going to bless your people. So when all books I write for my students, I dedicate them to your congregations because they're the ones that's going to get blessed when we learn how to do stuff better. Okay, so that's all the preliminaries. Let's jump in and have some fun. Okay, all right. So what I want you to do is let's see the toolbar. Here's your. Okay, let's look at the library for a second. If you've got your software, you click on, and now it drops down your library. I'm going to ask you, those of you that are looking at your software, how many books do you have? Do you know how to find that?
1,033.
1,033. Where'd you get that?
I just see it pop up here in the search
Right
bar.
here.
Right there.
So if you want to know how many books you have, there it is. It'll pop up every time. Now what happens? You get a new menu, and there's all kind of little buttons. Just play with them. See what it does. Get oriented to the software. Now we won't have time to do this today, but if you want to prioritize your software, you click this. So let's click that just for a minute. I want to show you where it is. And you'll see another menu pops up. See, this stuff's busy, so you just have to get used to it. And what this is, I just got the new CSB, came out 2 weeks ago, Christian Standard Bible. The only thing I don't like about that is they didn't tag it. So the morphology stuff doesn't work, or at least it didn't. I looked at it one day, and I talked with those guys. I said, y'all need to tag this stuff. They said, why aren't you using it in your classes? I said, because I can't get to the Greek and Hebrew. It's just a Bible. It'll search it, but it won't give me the Greek and Hebrew under it. So I said, so I have to go to one of these others, New American, NRSV, the ESV, NIV, and I think there are 6 that are morphologically tagged, and it will give you the interlinear stuff that you need for your sermons, okay? But this is where you go to prioritize. If you go to Mo's site, you can do this later, tonight, next week, whenever. Go to Alumni, and he has suggestions depending on your level. So I think, what do we get with Cassidy? Silver? Is it silver? You can go to the silver prioritizing list, and he knows what resources are in your software. And he'll say, I would recommend you do your top 5 Bibles. That's the first thing you do. And so here's my top 5 Bibles. I put my UBS 5 in there because I do Greek work. I teach Greek, so I have to have that close by. Then you do your dictionaries, then you do your encyclopedias. And what happens when you prioritize it, instead of searching all your resources, 1,000, brother, what's your name?
Barnabas.
Barnabas. Like Barnabas has 1,000 resources. Instead of it looking through all of those, when you prioritize it, you're saying, Logos, search these first. These are what I want you to search first, and it comes up in your passage guide. Okay? So you're telling Logos what you want to see first. Remember, you're the boss. It's your software. You prioritize it how it fits your particular study habits and what you want to see first. So it'll bring these up, and the way you prioritize these, you just simply, you click on one of them and you just drag it over. So put your mouse on it. So like if I wanted this a Bible commentary, I could highlight it, click it over, and then just move it in there. And just put it where you want it. So that's how it works. That's simple. Okay? Okay, prioritizing. Now, unfortunately, we have to keep moving because I want to show you some other really pretty cool stuff. Now, look, if you have your home page there, go up to this command. This is your command box, and this is your reference box. Now, we're going to pick a passage one of you is going to preach on tomorrow, and we're going to put it in there. I'm going to do this blind. I don't have anything pre-planned. I'm just going to show you how easy it is to use it. If you type in here, close, C-L-O-S-E, all, just type it in there, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to delete mine because it's there. So type in close all, and notice a little menu drops down. If you click on that close all, you can drag it over here to your shortcut, and a little icon appears. You can close all your resources by clicking back. It just shuts everything down, and you're on your way. Okay? Now say, well, why would I want to do that? If I close it all down, it took me 10 minutes to get all my books open. There's a secret for that. You need to learn the beauty of layouts. You see layouts? All right, what is a layout? When I was taking Greek in seminary, that's where you guys are now, I would lay my books out. Couldn't afford a desk, so I bought a door and put center blocks. That was my desk. And I had all my Greek stuff out here. Lexicons, commentaries, my Greek text, all that. And then I used to do it at the kitchen table, and then my wife would say, honey, we're going to eat 5 minutes. Get all those books off the table. Oh, babe, I got to have to open them all back up. I forget where I was. Well, I don't care. We're not going to eat with all your books on the table, so get them off. So we lived in a matchbox house. So I bought that big desk, and I could leave it open. Well, a layout is like your desk. And if you look here, Logos has prepared some quick start layouts for you. So click on a couple of those. If I click on Bible and commentary, look what it does. They have a layout already with just a Bible and a commentary. And if you want to add stuff to it, you go to your library and open resources and put them in there. Okay? Let me show you another one. If we go back to layouts, Logos is quick start layouts. Let's say you just want to do a devotional. You're getting up in the morning. There's another layout. It changes it. So they have these preset layouts that they help you lay your books out real quick. Now, if you want to change it, you can customize these, add stuff. But if you're going to customize it, what you need to do, go back over to layouts, and you see they have quick start layouts. I'm going to compress that. Here's home page layouts, and it's, you can do a reading plan, lectionary passage. I'm going to close that. But here are what they call saved layouts. These are my layouts that I have developed for all these different projects. I have a 1 Corinthians layout. When I teach 1 Corinthians, I can click on that, and what it's going to do, I click on 1 Corinthians, and it starts thinking. It's shutting down all those books. It's going into my library, and depending on how strong our signal is, it's going to bring up all my 1 Corinthians stuff in a format that I like. And that's taking a while here. Come on, baby. There we go. Look at that. The last time I was teaching 1 Corinthians, that's where I left it. There's my 1 Corinthians layout. I like to put the text. Now, this is just me. You can move these windows around any way you want them. You can say, I don't want that big. I want something else in there. That's fine. You can customize it. Play with the margins. All you do is catch an edge there, and you can resize these things to any size you want. You get on there and you got to click on there. You got to get that little, there it is, that little X. See how I can make that bigger? You can shrink it however you want it. For me, I like to have my lexicons right here. Here's my Bibles. Here's my commentaries, like 2 bookshelves. And so this works for me. Teaching class, I can get to it quickly. I can look at any of my versions. I can look at any of my commentaries. And so it's all right there. You say, well, how do you do that? What you do, go to layouts. And if you don't have one, click this, save this page as a layout. So if you click on that, you name it. So you name it whatever. I could change the name of that. I could say my 1 Corinthians layout. If I name it, it'll pop up down here, and I have it. And then if you make it, yes, sir.
How do you set the screen to be in that manner? If I wanted my own layout right now and I want to create the same exact layout, because it's kind of basic, I think that's a supreme layout for me.
Okay.
How would I do that?
I will,
I think this is a basic layout that I think is the best out of all of them. Because
Yes.
I try to use it and I can't figure out how to pull up all those screens. It takes me forever. And
Yes.
I quit every time.
Okay, I'm going to show you. Let me take you from the home screen.
All right.
Let me show everybody how to save a layout, and then we'll go to home screen. Can we do that?
Cool. Thank
And
you.
I'll show you how to turn stuff off and make it. Now, what I think you could do real quick, Barnabas, well, let me finish this. I'll come right back to you. Okay, so you decide what you want to call it, and you save it. Now, let's say I've named mine 1 Corinthians layout. Now, let's say I add something. Let's say I go in and I add this commentary right here. It pulls it up. Now I've got the Zondervan exegetical. I have made a change to my layout. I've put a new book there. If I don't save it, if I shut it down, when I come back, it won't be there. It's just like when you write your word processor, you make a change, you got to save it. Control save. So what you do to save it, go back to your layouts. Here's my 1 Corinthians. A little drop-down arrow appears. See that? Click that. Update to current snapshot. And I click that. And now it's saved. I can shut it down. I can now go to Barnabas's question, and it'll be just like that when I'm ready to come back. Isn't that cool?
That's cool.
Now, look what you've got here. I have a layout for all my classes that I teach. I just presented a paper at ETS last week. I have a layout for my Acts paper. I'd call it up, but it takes too long to pull it. I have an apologetics layout. I have Bible commentary. I don't even remember what that one is. I've got some Caskey ones I've done teaching your course before. I teach at Franklin Avenue, and I've got one for Franklin Avenue Baptist Church. And so I pull it up. I've got one. I've got a translation they like. I've got the resources that they like me to use. And so I just click there. And so when I go down, I just save the layout. When I'm done, I can go right back to it. You can have as many layouts as you want. So I've got, who knows, I don't know, 20, 30 of them there. So that's layouts. So now you know how to get back and preserve all that opening of books you have to do. Now let's look at Barnabas's question. I'm going to go back home. So you can either do close all or you can go back home. And let's see, Barnabas, let's say I put in John. If I put it in the top, if I just put John right there, John opens up. I have one called, let me give it John chapter 1, okay, 1:1. Because I have a, it opened up to that layout. Hang on, let me get back. Go to John 1:1, see if that'll do it. No, it's not doing it. Close all, there we go. I need to let you guys teach this class. Okay, let's try it again. Let's see if that'll go there. John 1:1. Well, there it is. Thank you. Okay, so if I just want to go to a Bible, I can start there. So there's a way you can do it. So you can take that. If you click on that, you can move that tab around. And if I've just got my mouse down, moving it around, and it'll gray out the screen. And if you like that position, just go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to move it there. If you say, well, I kind of want it going across half the screen, I've probably got to get another one open. So we could open up another, let me go to guides. I'm kind of looking sideways on it. Let's just put a passage guide over there. So if I want to rearrange this stuff, so you can drag it, start opening windows till you get it where you want it, get the template you want, or there's another way you can do it. Over in layouts, you can say, I want to use it like this. See those? And it'll start putting them in sideways. So now you can come down here. Let's say I want to add now a commentary. Let's go to, you can either open them from here. I'm just picking stuff. So now I've got the Dead Sea Scrolls here. Got Bible here. Got commentary started here. So you start building it. Once you get the resources open, so you're going to have to customize it. So you got to go to your library. Either you can do it from the plus tab or you can go to your library, open those commentaries, put them in, and when you get it how you like it, say, I like that. I can start there.
What's the best commentary you recommend?
The best commentary?
In your opinion, the world commentary or?
Depends on what book you're studying. Because I would, if you tell me Luke, I'm going to say I would start with Darrell Bach, and I would go to Garland after that. I use Garland teaching.
So it varies.
Yes. I always build my commentaries by book that I'm studying. When I'm preaching the sermon, I try to I take whatever money I have. I've always done it this way. Whatever I can afford, I try to get the top 2 or 3 commentaries. You say, well, how do you know where to go? Bestcommentaries.com. Bestcommentaries.com. Denver Seminary. If you go to denverseminary.edu, they have an updated bibliography that Craig Blomberg puts together every year, and they update it. Go to the website, go into their library, then the bibliographies pop up at the bottom. denverseminary.edu. and you'll see they have them by subject, textual criticism, introductions, blah, blah, blah. Then they go all the way down to commentaries for individual books. That's where I start. And I tell my students, start at best commentaries because they're annotated. They tell you a little bit about it. They tell you if it's a technical or if it's a devotional commentary. So you want both. If you want the technical stuff to get your Greek and Hebrew, do our study as scholars. We go in to deal with the text first, and then I put the spit and polish on the devotional commentaries. Okay, so then I do my illustrations from there, find the right introduction and conclusion. Yes, sir.
Denver Seminary, then where?
I go to Denver Seminary, library, and then the bibliography should pop up. Maybe it's academics.
Resources in my program.
Resources, okay. And they may have I think they just rebranded their website. So if you can poke around, find the library, at least that's where they work here. But they do it for old and new. Awesome. That's a strong bibliography.
I know I have a ton of questions. I'm sorry, because I had this program a couple of weeks ago. Next thing is those
Okay.
free books. Those free books comes out every month. Someone said there's a free book every month. Is
Yes.
that true?
They give you $20 on your birthday, so sign up. I spent my $20 this week.
All right, 20 books. And
Yeah,
and
today's my birthday, so I
how
got a
about-
book.
How about the free book every week? I mean, every
It's
month.
Every month. Yeah.
How do you access that?
Go sign up.
It's on the homepage. It just
Yeah.
asks you. It
Yeah.
gives it to you.
The big thing, I think, with Logos, to really get familiar with their stuff, go to their website and just poke around. Someday, if you got 30 minutes and you're waiting for something, go check it out, Barnabas, and poke around. They've got training tapes. They've got tons of videos. In fact, I did a couple of them for them. I wrote the training steps, and then they have a professional guy records them, and they do screen capture. And so I did a couple of those, and it was too time consuming because you have to come up with creative stuff, and I get too much to do here. But anyway, they got tons of videos. They're making them all the time. And there is a 30-day training. I would highly recommend sign up, go to logos.com, and see, I was going to pull this up, like right here, logos.com. And every time you buy a book, this is where you go. You go through your account. But look here under Learning, and go down to 30-day training. You click on that, give them your email, and they send you a 5-minute training video every day for 30 days. I guarantee you, if you'll go through those 30 days, discipline, say this 30 minutes each day, Monday, Friday, whatever, I'm going to do this training tape and go through all of them. And they're going to teach you some hermeneutics too. It's great. It's really, really good stuff. So you can get in. There's all kinds of stuff. You can go there, and, discounts and everything. How to use your phone. How to take a tour. Let them show you what Logos 7 will do. And so that's where you want to go for that. Okay. All right. Let's learn another deal. Go back home. Go back to the home base, and somebody tell me a sermon you're working on. What passage you on?
Acts 8.
Acts 8. That's going to be our example today. So let's go to Acts 8 and give it a moment. It's going to pull up, and what I want to show you is. This is the default screen. You say, man, that's busy. It is. But you can customize it and make it unbusy. What they're doing is they're laying it all out. Now you've got to figure what works for me. They want you to have it your way. You can customize all this. Okay, now notice what happens. Let's study this for just a second, see what we've got. You see a passage guide comes up. An exegetical guide comes up, And it has different stuff right here. You say, well, I don't need all that stuff. So let me just ask you, what do you use when you're doing your sermons?
Bible, Greek text, commentaries. Let's see, like you said, using devotional commentaries, you use book illustrations.
Okay, illustrations. All right. What if I showed you how to make your own study guide? Would you like to do that?
Yeah.
All right. Let's do that. Let's create one. So I want you to go to Guides. Click on Guides. And I'll try to go slowly so you can see it. And if you'll notice, look what I can call up. Passage Guide, Exegetical Guide, Bible Word Study. Do y'all do word studies in your sermons?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm going to show you how to get that information, and you're going to put it in your own guide, and you're going to, all this other stuff we're going to take out. It's good stuff, but it's busy. And so as you explore, you can add this stuff in. It's real easy to put it back. You will not hurt anything by what we're getting ready to do. You will see at the bottom, it says, make a new guide template. Everybody see that? Click that. And what happens, it opens this little box down there. Now you say, I can't work with that. I can't even read that. Okay, I'm going to give you a shortcut. What you want to do is float that panel out. Now to do that, let's see, if you are on I wrote down the pages here. If you are on a Windows machine, it's on page 5 of your handout. And if you are on a Mac, it's on page 7. Basically, in Windows, to float this out, you're going to go, I always forget the Windows one. I think it's Control F11. So if you're a Windows person, make sure this is the active window, Control F11. If you're on a Mac, you hit Option and Command F at the same time. And look what happens. Now I can work with that. I can make it bigger. If I want to stretch that, I can just come catch a corner. Okay, I can read it now. Now you say, well, maybe you can read that. I can't read that little print. Okay, go up to this little box. There's an arrow, drop down. And, well, it's not going to let me. I can't change the print on that. Okay, on any other resource, you can make the type bigger. Okay, let me show you what I mean. I'm just going to add something in real quick. New American Standard. If I go up here on a Bible resource, click down, I can make my type bigger, slide it along. Now I can see. So for Big Mama, we would for Phil and his mom, we'd put the type up bigger. See that? So that little box has all kind of information. You need to explore that. And let me also mention something to you. Barnabas, when you get your windows going and you get your commentaries all laid out, if you'll drop down each one of these little boxes, there's a link set. I use link set A, but click that A on and that little A pops up. Now I go over here and I do this one. I've already done that. I do it automatically. But click link set A. For every resource you have, click on that link set A. What's it doing? What that does, it links all those Bibles and commentaries so that if you move one, they all move with you. So you don't have to go back and redo all the references. So link them together, and you can take the links out if you say, sometimes I might want to keep New American here, but I want to go to a different place in this commentary. So I'll unlink it so it doesn't move my Bible text, and I'll run and I'll check something and then come back. But that link set is really handy. Okay, I'll save you a lot of time. All right, so back to the floating deal. Now, I want you to try something. Whichever command you used, simply add a shift, and what is it? Shift Control F11 for Windows, and Shift Option Command holding all down at the same time, F, and it puts it right back where you took it out. I want you to do that 3 or 4 times, those of you that have your stuff with you. Float it out, float it back. Float it out, float it back. And what that does, that gets you used to using that shortcut. If you take Mo's seminar, he's gonna make you do lots of shortcuts. But that's the most used shortcut I use, because you've got so much information, it's unusable when it's all crammed in there together. So float it out. Now, when you do the shift and you float it back, it keeps it from closing. If I went up here and hit the X, then I just closed that whole thing, and I'm going to have to reopen it if I want to use it again. So, what's that? So get used to using the float back, float it out, use it, float it back, and it keeps it on your desk. Otherwise, it's like closing the book and taking it back to your bookshelf. And you got to go back. Where was I? So that's a handy little shortcut. Now, we said we like commentaries. Well, look here. We're customizing this. And we want to use commentaries. So I'm going to click on commentaries. I'm going to drag it over. There it is. What else do we like to use? Illustrations. I click illustrations. I bring it up.
If you want to use your Greek stuff.
Okay.
Put apparatus in a Greek grammar.
Okay, apparatus. Let's bring apparatus down. Now let's go find a Greek grammar. What else do y'all use?
I use parallel passages.
Ah, okay, very good. Let's see. Parallel passages is a data set, so you got to go to tools to get that. That's up here.
Well, it was in the.
Oh, you did? It's on there?
the side.
Okay, y'all. Here we go. Keep me straight. Okay. Anything else?
Like the historical settings.
Historical settings.
Like what's going on at that time period.
Let's see.
That would be biblical events, wouldn't
Biblical. What was that?
it? Events.
Biblical events. Okay, here we go. All right, so we've got those in. And now what I want to do, I want to save that. So see the untitled guide? Let's title this. What do we want to call it? You can put your name in there. Cause I'm going to call mine CP's Sermon Guide. If I could spell sermon. Okay, then hit return. There it is. I have just created my own custom guide that does the stuff I want it to do. So if we close it out, I'm going to totally close it now. So I'm going to go to the X. And when I come up here to guides, click guides, and I look down through there, and look here, there's my sermon guide. So when I get ready to start my sermon, and I only want to look at commentaries, grammars, all the items we picked, I click on that, and it opens it up, and right there it is. Now there's nothing in it because I haven't given it a passage. But if I put Acts 8:1 in, now look at what I've got. I've got, oops, I hit the passage. Hang on. I need to get on CP's. CP's Sermon Guide, Acts 8:1. There's all of my stuff that I told it I want. You say, well, gosh, I forgot about something else. It's real easy to add. You just go to this little add right there, do a drop down, and you can put anything back in. Now, you've not changed your software. You just created a new guide. All the default guides are still back right where they were. If I go back over to the passage guide again, you saw everything came up because it clicked over on me. But here's my custom guide. So now you've got your own sermon guide. You can use that now, right now, and start your sermons for how you like to do it. If you want to take something out, you just exit out. If you put the cursor there, stuff will appear, the X will appear, and I can take it out. You can change the settings, how many you want to see, and so forth. Now, let's go to Acts 8. I'm going to float that thing out. And what are your verses? 8:1, you starting?
8:4 through 25.
Okay, 4 through 25. We're going to help you do your sermon. By the way, up here, now I floated it out. Use your shortcut to pull it out. I know I'm moving kind of fast, and it's apologize for that, but these instructions are actually in the stuff. You can play with it later. But let's say we're going along, and brother, what's your name again?
Chuck.
Chuck. Okay, so Chuck's going along, and he's reading about Philip, and so we want to get a little deeper here. We want to do some searching. There's a couple of ways we can search, and one of the most interesting ways is the inline searching magnifying glass there. For example, let me show you something here. I've got one resource open. It's the NRSV Bible. I just clicked on that. Sometimes I use that. There's a magnifying glass here. There's also a big one up here. What's the difference? This magnifying glass allows me to search this one resource. So let's say I want to find everywhere that, Chuck, pick us a word there.
Baptism.
What verse is that?
That's in verse 12.
Verse
Or
12.
baptized.
Okay, let's say he's talking about, I've got to find it here. Here we go. If I click this inline search, and let's say, I wonder where else the word baptize occurs in the NRSV Bible. If I type one word in here, so type in baptize. Did I spell it right? Baptize. There we go. And then if you hit return, it finds everywhere that the word baptize, regardless of the tense, baptize, baptized, baptized, and it pulls it up and gives you the reference. And that's pretty fast.
Yeah.
That's an inline search. Or let's say you're taking a theology class and you have one of N.T. Wright's. I did this just the other night in a colloquium. One of the students said, well, where does he actually use the word new perspective? And so I have N.T. Wright's books in my library, my LOGOS library. You know, it doesn't matter if you say logos, 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 what? It's all the same. I typed in new perspective. Now, if you use more than one word, you got to put quotes around it, because that's computer talk for, I want you to look up this exact phrase. Okay? So I looked up new with quote, new, space, perspective, in quotes, and I hit find it, and it pulled up every place new perspective is used in his book.
That's cool.
Now, if you're looking, now you know how big those, y'all have read Into Right,
And do a
right?
book review of his
Oh,
Jesus,
goodness.
Son of God. That's 500 some odd pages.
Yes. And then I mean,
brutal.
I finally come to the conclusion he's a brilliant man, but he doesn't know how to land the airplane. I mean, come
He's
on,
very
man, let's go for a
verbose.
flight and
He's
land
very
this thing.
verbose.
So, but anyway, so I looked up that and I found it in like less than 10 seconds. Now, the students were amazed. I let them think I was so brilliant. But this software can make you look smarter than we really are. But you just have to learn how to drive it, how to get it in that gear, right? Right. So you can do that. Inline search, you can search just that book. Yes, sir.
How do you get just the book?
Okay, I had that resource open. Okay, so let me float it back and see if I can show you. I'm going to use my shift.
Well, I mean, I did the exact same thing you did, except with mine, it pulled up the entire Bible.
Then
Oh, you mean just searching in one book of
No, I
like
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
like you got right here. You had it was just Acts that it pulled up.
yes, okay. Did you use this search magnifying glass or this search? Did you use this? Did you use a little? Okay. Let's try it again. Okay, I'm going to float it back out
if you,
so I can see it.
if you look
I'm going
at
to
the
click,
where it says search,
click the magnifier.
in all passages, you can change that all passages.
Oh, I see what he's saying. Yeah.
All Bible text and all passages. So you
Yeah.
should change it to.
You can change it to Acts, or you can change it to
There we go.
Luke and Acts if you want to see where Luke uses it in the Gospel as well.
Yes. What's your name again?
Michael.
Michael. Michael's exactly right. See right here? These little drop downs, you can change that. I know you're thinking, gosh, this is a lot of stuff to remember. But that's what makes it so powerful. Is you can define where you want it to search. So I had all Bible text and all passages linked. So if I wanted to just say, like Michael was showing you, let's say I only wanted to search Acts. I tell it. Now you see the change? Search all Bible text in only Acts.
You don't have that option.
You don't have that option?
You can type it at the top too.
So there's only in Acts. Quite a lot of them. Okay, you got some help there? So you don't have this at all?
You're when you drew the drop down right there,
Yeah.
right there. See how you have the options to go through each book.
Oh, that because I've used those before. Once you start, you're going to have to type yours in, and the next time you come back, Acts will show up. See, I've done this search. I've looked up Torah. I've looked up all of this. So that's why mine looks different. Yours, you haven't told it to do anything yet. So once you put it in,
It'll be back
yeah,
in
there you go. I think that's what Michael meant by typing it in. Yeah. Okay. Sorry about that.
That makes sense.
Okay, very good. Okay, all minds clear on that. All right, now I'm going to float this back. And let's say we're going, now when you want to close that search, take that little X right there, and it takes that inline search feature off. Now I'm back to my Bible text. I probably should float it out. All right, so let's say, all right, I want to do, what is the word apostles? What does that mean? I want to do a word study on that. Well, if you double click that, see what happens. Over in this information box, it pulled up whatever is my first English dictionary. It pulled up apostle and put it in there. Now, I have mine customized where I use BDAG for Greek stuff. If I had the Greek text open, those of you working with your Greek, you can put your BDAG over there. I put BDAG, Louw-Nida, I put Metzger. So when I'm actually working on my stuff, I can double click the Greek word, and it pulls up the entry in BDAG over here. Very nice. Now that's more advanced searching, and so I'm trying to kind of keep it basic here today. But if those of you who want me to show you how to set that up, we can do that after class if you like. Okay? So that's telling me the English. If I left click it, it gives me the English definition. Now I want you to right click it. And see what happens. You get a new menu pop up. Now we're cooking here. We're getting ready to do some serious word study stuff. When this menu comes up, it's on the right click. Take your mouse, right click. I can look up apostles. And let me show you how this works before we actually go into it. If I want to look at the English word, I can do that. If I want to look up something in actual Acts 2:43, which is a reference, I can go to that. So if I click that, it's taken me in a whole different search mode. It says, okay, Acts 2:43, do you want to look at your passage guide? Do you want to look at the exegetical guide? Or maybe you might even want to come down to CP's sermon guide. It's just another way to get at the stuff in the software. So they've thought about putting stuff where it's real handy. Now let's say you've had your Greek and you're comfortable working with Greek. If I want to look up the Greek word, I come right here and I can click on that Greek word, and now I can do all kind of searches. See there? So each of these gives you different options to search. So let's do apostolos. I'm going to go back to the English because all of us are good there. So I want to look at apostolos, and I want to do a Bible word study. So click on that, and look what you get. This is the famous LOGOS ring. Now notice what it opened up. Greek words. Now let's say I haven't had my Greek yet, or it's not in my degree program. I can still do a word study using Greek, and Logos does the heavy lifting. Okay? So the English word is apostles, and what this ring gives me is all the different places where this English word in the new, whatever Bible I'm in, NRSV, yeah.
Up a little bit higher, right by Greek word.
Yeah, I can't. I'm so close to that screen I can't see. Oh, okay.
Right in the ring area there.
Okay. So there's a lot of information right here. I've got the English word. It's showing me, okay, this Greek word is also in the NRSV translated apostle. It's also, there are places where this English word appears with false apostles, and it gives me pseudo, okay? Then there's another place where there's another Greek word, but it's all translated in this translation as apostles. They say, okay, let's probe a little bit. Before I do that, do you see that little graph up here? It's telling me, I don't know if you can read that, read it on your computer, but that's 76 times the English word apostles used in the Bible. And right now, we're like right here on Acts, but you can use that slider and actually click on there, and it'll take you to those references. Look here, if I roll it along, there's Matthew, Mark, it's used in Luke, John, and we happen to be in Acts. It's in Romans, and I could go to those instances if I click that. Now let's go a little deeper. If I go down to the ring, look what happens when I put my cursor on it. Now it flips it and gives me the Greek word and the new RSV English word used to translate it. See the difference? This is the English ring. This is the Greek ring. So now you can say, okay, I want to know everywhere that this word apostle is actually used in the New Testament. So I'm just going to click on that ring. I just left clicked, and notice that it separates. Do you see what it's giving me now? Look there. Man, I mean, at a click, it's telling me this Greek word, apostolos, is translated in the NRSV, because that's what I'm in. Apostolos, it's used 76 times in the Bible. 74 of them are translated apostolos. And then it gives me each one of those. Don't you wish you had that when you did your hermeneutics? And you can send that, you can copy that, send it to a Word document, and put it in your papers. And then, Logos, you can tell it, generate me a bibliography, and it'll put it in Turabian form, and it'll give you your bibliography. Now, you got to have that resource in your software for it to do that. But it'll generate a bibliography, at least of the sources you have in Logos. So, that's why, Barnabas, when I go to get a book, I go and see if Logos has it.
Right.
If they have it, and it's a price I can afford, I get it. And I add it to my resources, because now it's searchable. I can search for concepts, I can search for words, I can use it. You know, I travel a lot, and I like having my library with me. I don't have to tote 6 books and try to get them out. When I get on an airplane, I put headphones on. I can cook, I can work. And they tell us you can use your computers. I'm right.
Can you use this offline? No, right?
Yes, you can.
You can?
It'll come up. If it doesn't, it's cloud-based, and I need to say this too, I guess. All your stuff is in the cloud. So if your computer crashes, brother, what's your name?
Gerald.
Gerald. Let's say this computer dies today on you, and your wife says, man, I might let you use mine. And you talk her into it, and you can go to the cloud and download your library to her computer. So it's all there. You don't lose it. Anything you save, any of these guides are saved. It's in the cloud. So when
When I say offline, I mean like on my. If I don't have the internet, I can use it without
Right.
the internet. Wherever I go, you need the internet, right?
Right. Now, if you are offline, you can't get to the cloud. So you're going to have an internet connection to get to that stuff. But if you have it on your computer, I can still get all my books. There's just a lot of searching capabilities I might not be able to do. I can't save new collections and stuff, I don't think. But yeah, you can use it. In fact, I was someplace. Where was I? Oh, it was in chapel the other day. I was actually using my Logos. I forgot my Bible and my phone, and so I had my computer with me. So I pulled up Logos to follow the sermon, and it told me, "You want to work offline?" I said yes. So I still had all my stuff. Pretty cool.
Okay, what about copying that? You mentioned copying that right there.
Okay, let's see if I haven't done that for a while, but see if I can do it. If I block.
I tried the other day and I had a lot of problems, and I know just not knowing how. But
Okay, I'm thinking. Pull that out so we can see it. There is a way. Oh, I think it's here. Go up to here and export.
okay.
So if I click export, it asks me, do you want to print it? Do I want to save it to a clipboard? Do I want to save it as rich text? PDF? So that's how you do it. Go to that little menu there. And you can shoot it. Yeah, there it is, Microsoft Word. So it shoots it to Word. And now you can use it if you're teaching Wednesday night, you want to show your people, there it is. That's what it'll look like. So it puts it into to a form. I can save it. I can print it, save it, paste it in for your PowerPoints on Wednesday night if you use a. Okay. Yes, sir.
I don't know if you can do this, but I'm doing a Hebrew exegetical paper, and as far as looking up stuff, you can look up stuff here to help you with your exegesis.
Absolutely.
But, I mean, it has the word, but when you click on the word, it doesn't come up with anything. So.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Let's see if we can find you something here. We're gonna have to go to what? How are we doing on time? Still got a couple minutes. Let me float that back in. And you wanted to look up. Let's go to, what's your passage?
Well, just say Jonah.
Jonah. Jonah chapter 1. And you want to look up, what I didn't show you. Let me show you this real quick. If you want to turn on your interlinear, let me float it out. Okay, so there it is so we can work with it. Your interlinear keys are right here. There's two ways. This is an inline interlinear. Let me show you what it looks like. But I don't like it like that. It's too much, and you can change what it's giving you. But that's just, I don't know. To me, that's bulky to work with. So I like this one here. Let me go back to here and turn this off. Okay, there we go. I like the one where it comes up at the bottom. See there? When I click on, let's look at Lord. Notice what happens. It gives me Lord down here, and then there's the manuscript transliteration, so it transliterates it to Yahweh, and then it tells me the Hebrew Strong's number and pops up the Strong's information. So I mean, at a click, I've got, that's a lot of information. So I've got that, and then it gives me the what they call sense. I think you have it on silver. You say, well, I want more information or less. See this surface? If you right click that, you can customize what you want to see in your interlinear. It's all customizable. You can take stuff in, you can take stuff out. You know. So that's how you do that. But now let's say you come up with Lord, and I do a right click, and I want to do a Bible word study. So now there's, it should have come up in the Hebrew. Why did it not come up there? There it is, Lord. Okay. Now, what you're trying to do, take me, where are you next? So we've got the ring. Remember, right click gives you that ring. So what did you want to do with it next? All the occurrences, or you just want the word? Okay, if I click that, and if I say, okay, give me those references, it should be pulling them up for us. I don't know why it's not. Floated. Not sure why it's not coming up. Did it come up somewhere else?
Wasn't Yahweh used over 5,000 times? I mean, it's...
Yeah. Oh, look at it. It's thinking. There it is. It was still thinking. Here we go. All right. Here's Yahweh. Okay. Now, if I want the Hebrew word, it's right there. So I can move my cursor over there. It's used 6,826 times. And it took it about, 20 seconds? But they're all in that list right there. If you keep scrolling, it pulled them all up. So whatever, I'm not sure what your word is, but that you were looking for. But that gives you your English translations in the Bible translation you're in. So remember that. It's always how many times it's used. And there's your Yahweh and your Lemma. That's pretty cool. So if you're going to use that for your paper, what are you needing to do with your Word? We'll see if we can help you.
You know, we just have to have a passage. That's one of the things we're required to do in paper for the end of the course.
Okay.
So it's just that it's hard to understand if you've never done what it looks like.
Yes.
So you're
Okay.
trying to, you know, we've had kind of charts for the verbs with scripture to start with that we've been working on, but now we're going to go with nothing and supposedly come up with this paper. You don't know how, you know how you're supposed to write in Hebrew or anything on there, but I guess you just explain it.
Well, who's that mean Old Testament professor that's required this?
Well, he's really a great guy. I'm from the Georgia campus.
Oh, okay.
No one
I was going to razz one of my colleagues here. I teach with Archie England a lot, so we have a lot of time, a lot of fun, teasing each other. Wow. Well, honestly, we've blown through this today, and I'm sorry we go so fast. There's 100 other things I wish I could show you. But maybe you got started. You got a sermon guide. You know how to do your layouts. Did we show you anything else that's good today?
Carolyn changed the default when you first opened that. Those screens that are in the background.
The screens in the background, okay.
Information, text comparison, your Bible, and that default that came up for you when you started using that.
Okay. You can change that by prioritizing the order of your, go to your library, go to prioritize, and you can change that.
So if I didn't want text comparison to come up as a default.
Oh, on your, let's see, down here. Oh, wow. Well, we didn't even get to that. Let me float that out. Look at a text comparison is great. I like to use that. The way you change that is you can just, you go up here and change it. I put them in right there, I believe. I think there's a drop down. And what I'll do is, if we're working and we want to see different translations for the same verse, this comes up. But I think Mark's using parallel passages. Yes. Oh, goodness. I teach Luke this semester. We use it. I said, you guys have got to get a harmony. And so Logos, if you're working in Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, you've got to have a harmony. What if there's a parallel passage? You got to look at both of them. We did the feeding of the 5,000 in Luke. Well, we had to look at all four Gospels to see what did a different Gospel writer say about the incidents. Yeah.
Isn't the gospel parallels a little bit better than a harmony?
I like it. Let me show you real quick. It's easy to get to, class. You just go to Tools, and you come over here to Gospel, Parallel Gospel Reader. Click that, and it comes up in a window. I'm going to float it out so I can use it. Now look what you've got here. With silver, if you look at this, you've got all those different choices. I mean, I'm not sure what came with y'all. I might have bought one or two of them. I think I bought Cox. But you see the in canons, the very first parallel. You can go to the harmony. This is Cox, Stephen Easley. I think this is, Kurt Aland. I forget who that one is. A.T. Robertson.
Holland's good.
Holland's good?
Yeah, Kurt Holland, yeah.
Yeah. So you find one you like, one that resonates with you, that you like to use, and say, I really like this one. I understand this one. You can do that. Now, for those of you with Greek, look what else you can do. You can go to your passage, and y'all see what it's doing. It's keyed off Matthew 16. So there's Matthew, it gives me Mark's parallel, and it gives me Luke's parallel. So as I'm doing my sermon, I can read what the other writers without holding my place and turning them. Where's that on? You got to look them all up. It's instantaneous. It's a great help. I mean, you can't preach in the Gospels unless you're looking at what they all say. Is it single, double, triple, or quadruple tradition? Is it in 1, 2, 3, or 4? And this tells you that real quickly. Like, look at the Lord's Supper. And I tell you, when I was a young pastor and I was going to get real smart one day, and I hadn't ever done the Lord's Supper out of Luke. And I went to Luke. And you know what the tradition is in 1 Corinthians 11, where Paul talks about the bread and the cup. Well, Luke has cut bread cup. And so I'm reading Luke, and I didn't read it before I went in. I mean, I was young and green, wet behind the ears and all that, whatever the metaphors are. And so I'm standing there, and I started reading, and I said, Jesus took the cup. And the chair of the deacons is standing right there. He said, preacher, we start with the bread. I said, it says cut. He said, no, it's bread. And so we're having this argument over the Lord's Supper. I said, well, today we're going to start with a cup. And so they passed it out, and the whole church was going, this is different. And then I got down, and we did the bread, and then all of a sudden I looked down, and I was horrified. I saw Luke's second cup. I went, oh, no, what do I do now? So you just try to cover it up, and you go, oh, you dummy, read the passage before you go out there. Don't take it for granted. So that's one of those learning moments for young guys, you know. But so I tell it on myself, so you don't make that mistake. But I've got a whole PowerPoint. I'll do Seders for churches, you know, at Easter time, and you explain that because in the Greek the Jewish Passover there's 4 cups, and so Bach thinks it's 1 and 3. But anyway, you may disagree on that. I went through that in class. So there's a PowerPoint. I'll be happy to send it to you if you ever want to do that. Do a Jewish, explain the Seder and how the Gospels come out of that and how Jesus reinterprets it. The most fun part is when you get to Elijah, because they always have the empty chair. And the children go to the door and yell, Eli, Eli. They have a whole thing they say. And Elijah will never come. Why? Because he's already come. Jesus said this Elijah, John the Baptist is Elijah who is to come if you can accept it. That chair is going to always be empty at those Jewish Seders. Anyway, we all been good students. If I can help you, grab me through the conference. Be glad to show you something if I didn't answer your question.